Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another Community Fit, and there we go. In particular, a midweek desk stretch. I'm your host, James, and we are here to work on shoulders and hips and stuff like that today. Do we have anyone just joining us for the first time? Feel free to send up an emoji or just let me know. We got any new folks, new folks, new folks? Yep, got a couple. Cool. Welcome. Nice to have you here. So we have sort of an order that we move through here for midweek desk stretch. We always start with our nervous system regulation work because a calm-centered nervous system is quite literally the answer to pretty much everything, including your shoulder and hip discomfort. Then we're going to move through just some real general shoulders and hip stuff today. I will guide you through whatever it is that I'm doing. Here's the advocation though. If you have a nervous system regulation practice that you prefer to do, a meditation, a breath work, whatever it is, feel free to do that. You probably know what your nervous system needs more than I do. If you're like, I have no idea what nervous system work is, don't worry, you can follow my practice along. The same is going to be true for anything that we're doing, shoulders and hips or otherwise today. If you hear me say, if this is enough for you and you want to stay here, do that. Do that. Honor like that lowest common feel good moment. And there is no need to go above and beyond. There's no need to keep adding more if the thing you're doing is already working for you. We have some people in the class right now that I'm looking at that have been with us for months, years, so on and so forth. So some people are likely needing something a little bit different today. All of that to say is make the practice your own. I'll stick around at the end to answer whatever questions you might have about the practice today and then we'll move forward, right? So I think after this we have one more week of this session, and then we'll take a few weeks off, and then I think we come back. And Raymond, if you want to put it in the chat, I think now would be a good time to start telling people when we'll come back. I can't remember, first week of May, second week of May, somewhere in that time frame. Raymond probably has it somewhere. And we'll be back. So you got this week, you got next week, and then we'll take a little break, and then we'll be back to work on some different stuff. So whatever questions you got, feel free to drop them in the chat. I likely won't answer it as we're doing the thing, but I'll stick around afterwards to answer whatever you have. Okay, so sit comfortably, whatever that means for you. Find yourself a chair, stand, lie, sit on the floor, whatever works. And we're going to start off with that nervous system regulation practice. Again, if you've got one, feel free to do that. If not, follow me along for what it is I'm going to do. What I feel like I need today is some kind of like calming internal practice. So I'm going to bring my hands together and I'm going to get them warmed up. And then I'm going to take my warm hands and I'm going to cup and I'm just going to place them over the eyes. Now, if that works for you, you can keep doing that. If you need something different, take the heel of your palm and just kind of lay your eyes so that the heel of the palm is kind of pushing into the eyes a bit. You can even kind of lean over on your chair, slump over, whatever it is that works for you. And we're just going to be here for a moment. Maybe just some soft, subtle breathing. One or two more breaths. Now, when you release, don't open your eyes yet. Let your eyes be closed. Take your fingertips and just kind of tap on your forehead like you would imagine raindrops might feel. And they can even go all over the head. They can go on the cheeks, the jaw. And when your eyes feel ready, gently open them, not too fast, gently open and just let your eyes start to kind of navigate or look around the room a bit. And then I'm just going to go through some little orientation practices. So I'm just going to now start to move my head and I'm just going to take in the space. And I might just start to name to myself things that I see in the room in an objective fashion. This is what that might sound like. There's a closet. There's a wall and a ceiling with a fan. and another wall and a bookshelf. And there's some candles and books. There's a light. There's glasses sitting on the bookshelf, some pins, a wall, art, ceiling, more art. There's a floor. I see a chair and I see my legs. And you feel like you've had enough. Kind of let yourself center a bit. And then we're going to go into some breath work. The breath practice today is just a regular human being inhale, long, exaggerated exhalation. If you can go in through the nose, out through the mouth, all the better, but just make the practice work for you. Again, short, normal human being inhale, prolonged, exaggerated exhale. As I do this, I'm going to keep breathing. I'm going to warm my hands and I'm just going to put my hands on my chest. This may or may not feel good. You don't have to. Just figuring out what feels good in the moment is kind of important for nervous system regulation. A few more breaths. More. And then just take a little inventory and notice how it is you feel. Has anything changed? If you like that practice, make sure you join us on Fridays where we're talking all things nervous system regulation. But for today, let's jump into some shoulder work to get us started. Now, when I say shoulders, I don't mean just this. Shoulders for me is anything below the neck and kind of above chest, right? So we're kind of talking this area, front body, back body, everything in the middle, and obviously arms. So here's how we're going to start. We're going to bring our hands together. We're going to get them warmed. And then I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to put it on my left clavicle or collarbone. I'm just going to start off with a little generic massage, just kind of rubbing, touching, waking up the totality of that bone from the middle all the way to the shoulder itself. Then I'm going to let my hand rest on that bone. And I'm just going to move the bone underneath my hand. And I'm going to move it indiscriminately. I'm not trying to make a circle. I'm not trying to go up and down. I'm not going forward and back. I'm moving it wherever I want. And I'm noticing which portions of that bone are more apt to move and which ones are more reluctant. For me, almost always fingertip area of that bone moves easy. Palm area of that bone, kind of here, not as easy. So I'm really concentrating on how do I sense movement underneath the palm of my hand right now? What do I need to do the same or differently to get some movement going on there? And then we're going to slide that hand underneath armpit and just let the body kind of do its job there. Lots and lots of nerves in that armpit area and just letting the heat and the touch do what it needs to do. And then I'm going to take my left arm, my free arm, and I'm just going to shake it. And I might want to shake it up, shake it forward, shake it back, shake it down. I'm just shake, 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 shake. And then relax. That left hand is now going to go either on the collarbone or the shoulder itself. And you're going to figure out as you explore here which one is a better placement for you. Then with this free elbow, I'm going to start to draw circles. Now, if you feel or hear clicking, movement, any of that, Like for me, right about, okay, there it goes. Right about down here wants to click. So what do? I slow down, I soften, I take my time, and then all of a sudden it doesn't click anymore. I go here, I slow down right before that clicking happens, slow down, soften, move. Slow down, soften, move. And then reverse my circle. Slow down, soften, move. One or two more. And then I take and just kind of flick my fingers a bit, waking up some muscles on the top of the arm and the top of the hand. It's like I'm flicking off water. And then for a moment, just notice any differences between the side that you worked and the side you didn't work. Just appreciating. And then let's do the other side. Hands get warm. Collarbone. For those of you joining us that are looking for Bob the dog, you can kind of see his little, that's his leg. This is his leg right there. Then some movement of that collarbone. Now all of Bob, you got hearts being thrown up over here. He doesn't care. He's passed out today. Just some movement. Sliding it underneath the armpit when you're ready. Just letting the warmth and the touch do the job. Just some breathing. And when you're ready, shake. Shake it up, out, forward, back. Like, where does it need to go? Like, just exploring the range of motion a bit. And then hand either on the shoulder or collarbone, you decide. You start to make some circles, and you're going to again notice this. To me, there's no clicking. Like my right shoulder doesn't click, left shoulder does. But for the last couple of days, I've noticed there's like a tension here. So when I go here and I start to go back, there's like an unfamiliar tug or pull that is happening. So I'm going to go here. I'm just going to kind of again soften, and I'm going to twist my face away from it. Now, you don't have to twist away from it unless you have that tugging or pulling, right? I'm just giving you some options. And then reverse your circle. One more of doing whatever it is you got going on that side. And then some finger flicks. And then right hand grabs a hold of left wrist and vice versa. And they do a tug. When you do that tug, you probably feel some contraction or some awareness in between the shoulder blades. And then release. Tug, release. Tug, release. One more. Tug, release. Other side. Just flipping it around. Tug, release. Tug, release. Tug, release. One more. Tug, release. Now pick your grip this way or this way. And we're just going to kind of throw the elbows side to side. Maybe they want to go down. Maybe they want to go up. Just getting some movement. And release. Just some real general shoulder rolls here. Good. Now, Let's move down into the hips a bit. I'm going to adjust my camera angle and adjust, go right about there. Adjust the seat a bit. Okay. First things first is just acknowledging wide sit bones, almost as if you got wider in your seat. We're going to rock forward towards the pubic bone in front, rock backwards towards the tailbone. Now, I'm not tucking and tilting here. It's like at my hips, everything tilts forward. At the hips, everything tilts backwards. If you joined us a few weeks ago, you are very familiar with this practice. We had a whole session on this stuff. If you've joined us for even longer, you might even want to be doing that sit bone meditation of tailbone to sit bones and just relaxing and yielding. Find your center, rock, everything goes to the right sit bone, everything goes to the left sit bone, almost as if you're rocking left butt cheek, right butt cheek. And then you can change your mind and go, well, if everything stays down and now my upper body just kind of rocks, versus if everything goes and now I feel like I'm weighted and unweighted in my hips, and just acknowledge that those are two different actions. Stable, little spine movement, specifically some low back spine movement, all the way to right hip, left hip, right hip, left hip. Now, pick which one works best for you and stay there. If I'm going to the right, I'm going to push my left foot down. I'm going to the left, I'm going to push my right foot down, almost as if that foot pushes me in the opposite direction. Left foot pushes me right, right foot pushes me left. I can enter into the movement in one of two ways, keeping my pelvis still or totally being rocked and rolled side to side. Neither one is right, neither one is wrong. It's just options. And then find yourself in the middle. From there, maybe we want to do some like hula hoop action, as if you've got a hula hoop kind of around your hips, belly area, and then reverse. And center. I'm going to pick one leg or the other. That leg is going to crisscross over. I'm going to demonstrate like this, right? We're going to do the forward and backwards rock. If this is too much for your hip, you can take and slide this leg down the other leg, you all the way towards like you just have ankle over ankle, or you can put this leg up on something, maybe another chair, a table, an ottoman, whatever it is. And we're just going to kind of rock back and forth. You probably feel some stretch going on in the backside of that left, this is my left, of that left hip joint. Then land where you've got like a mild stretch. So you probably are coming forward. Maybe it's not all the way, but there's some stretch. This ankle now is going to do some circles. And here's the thing, we're not moving with speed or quantity here. We're going to go for quality. And the invitation is how perfect of a circle can you get going with that foot? And can that foot be in a pleasing shape as you do it? And I say pleasing because sometimes we like squinch or flare or like just kind of look at it. Does that foot look relatively pleasing to the eyes? And you don't need to know anatomy. You don't need to know kinesiology. You don't need to know if you're doing it right or wrong. Your eyeballs are going to tell you, does it look like you're doing something of quality or not? And what do you need to do in order to make it look more quality? And then reverse that circle. One more. and release. Notice any differences between that right and that left. For me, I feel like I'm now kind of sliding into the left hip a little bit. Like things have like let go a bit on that side. Let's try it over on the other side. This is for me a tighter hip. So it's going to look a little different. It's going to feel a little different. Just going forward and backwards. You're going to end with that a bit of a stretch, and then you're making those circles, right? And again, how do you know you're doing it right? It's pleasing to the eyes. It's a good circle with a foot that is cooperating, even if that means smaller, even if that means slower, even if that means fewer. And then reverse. And release. From there, and I'm going to slide back even a bit more. I'm going to have my sit bones kind of at the edge of the chair here. My feet are going to be more or less kind of hip distance or chair distance apart. And from there, I'm just going to kind of, and I even need more space than this. I'm just letting my knees kind of like open close a bit, right? It's almost the sensation of swinging on a chair or swinging in a swing. It's like a door hinge that's just kind of like blowing open and closed. There's not I'm not using a lot of energy, not using a lot of power here. Whether they come all the way closed or swing all the way open, I don't know just yet, right? Like it's just movement. All the while, I'm going to sit up as tall as I feel that I can be. And when I say that, I don't know how tall you are, whether you are 6'2" or 5'2", 5'5", 6'5", or somewhere else. Sit up as if you're that tall, not taller. You're not trying to like push your chest. It's like the back of the neck. Occupy your space. Sit as tall as you would like to be. And then just let this kind of move a bit. Now, if this feels good, stay here, do this thing, or bring your feet a little closer together. Now, again, we covered this, I don't know, last week or the week before. My feet are not glued to the floor. They're also not like flopping around. They are kind of somewhere in between. Like the intention is to keep them on the floor, but I'm not mandating it, right? I'm not stopping the movement to keep the feet down. Or you could open them up wider and relax. From there, sitting back, I'm going to do this, right? It's just kind of like a jittery leg. And then just kind of going up and down and up and down. The inspiration here is fidgeting, restless legs, kind of anxious energy. Just trying to get it out, get it out, get it out, get it out. Forward, backward, side to side. It's like really using some energy to kind of pound the floor. And then relax for a bit. Just moving. So I am seeing a question about the one before where my feet lifting. Was that the knees open and closed? If so, the answer is yes and no. As I said, it's like the intention is to keep the feet more or less. Yes. The intention is to keep the feet more or less on the floor, but they don't have to be perfect. What I mean by that is we're not just letting them flop. And we're also not gluing them to the floor, which is putting too much stress on ankles. If they need to like flex a bit, totally fine. Totally fine. We're really just going for movement's sake. That one in particular is really good for pelvic floor health, hip joint health, so on and so forth. Good. Now just take a little inventory. How do your shoulders feel? How do your hips feel? What's going on? What worked for you? What didn't? What are you going to remember? Then, in fact, let's go a little bit higher here. We're going to stand up. We're going to stand up. We're going to kind of use the back of the chair here a bit. Let's see. That one should work. Hands are going to go on the back of the chair. And then we're just going to kind of walk, and you're going to run out of room here, guys. We're just going to walk backwards a bit, and then we're going to walk forwards. So again, I'm just walking with a relatively flat back, backwards, and walking forward here. Walking backwards, walking forward. One more of those. Walking backward, coming forward. Now, I'm going to demonstrate this next one from a seated position. You can certainly do this standing. You're going to have to make this work. I also have a wall of art over here, so I don't have free range. Advocation here is for you to do this on a wall that probably has less art, less stuff on it, and more room to kind of play. Here's what we're going to do. Standing or sitting, hands are going to come about shoulder distance apart. Hands are going to do like a fingertip crawl upwards, upwards, upwards. You stay seated. When they've reached up, you tilt a little forward, let them reach, and then walk back down, right? So fingertips might be like little ants or spiders, or if you're not into that, something cute, crawling up the wall, or just some movement. And when you run out of room, you tilt a little forward, and then you walk back down. Walking up, walk back down. Two more. Walking up, walking back down. Last one. Walking up, walking back down. Then just some shoulder circles. Just some real gentle movement. Maybe just one at a time. Maybe then the other. A little rocking right and left. Again, taking an inventory of what from today felt difficult to do, and remembering those things. It might be one of the nervous system regulation practices we did. Might be something we did in the shoulders. Might be something in the hips that was just above your pay grade today. Sometimes when people come to these classes, they think, I have to remember every single thing that James did, and I have to get it just right, right? Here's the truth about movement. We tend to think of like exercises. We've been told that exercises are almost like magical spells. And if you don't get everything exactly right in the right sequence, and the bones in the right place, and the muscles activated in the right way, that you are going to hurt yourself in some way. And that something special unlocks if you get it just right. All of that is actually inaccurate. More so, it's what is important for your body to do? What's the hard thing for it to do? And what was the enjoyable thing for it to do? And if you can get a list in your own head, pulling from that library, 3 or 4 things that you practice more often with the guiding light, the scent you're chasing is, how do I feel when I'm doing it? Does it feel challenging and enjoyable to do? That is when you are going to get it right. Not holding in your ribs a certain way, doing a specific thing with your shoulder blades, getting your knees in the right place over your toes. Uh, Inaccurate. It's as you're doing it, does it feel challenging and enjoyable to do? And are you guiding yourself in a way that you feel like you're unlocking something new, kind of opening up a new door? And so from today, think of the 3 or 4 things that were really challenging and felt really, really good, and just get better at practicing those things. And then over time, just keep adding to that library. I'll stick around for whatever questions you got. I see Raymond's got a few of them answered. Raymond, I don't know if we do or we don't, but if you have that start date for the next cycle, I think it's probably about time to start announcing that, since we're going to be wrapping up this cycle. I don't remember exactly the date on that, but if not this time, we'll get it to you the next time. Cool. And for those of you wanting to know, there he is in all of his glory. Sound of Sleep. May 7th, I believe that's correct. So around May 7th, give or take, we'll be starting that next series. So until then, join us on Fridays. Make sure you stop back in next week. And then, like I said, we'll take I think that's like a 2-week break, and then we'll be back. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate you.